Christian Sunday.
Oh my goodness!
Long time no see, dog. How you been?
It's been a minute.
Should he be sitting in the guest chair?
Well, the check finally cleared, so I thought I can.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, what it was. Funding was kind of crazy with the pandemic, but we got contract negotiations going on, and we were able to finalize it. So I'm back.
All right.
Hey, it's gonna be some mean negotiations when my shit come up.
I heard that.
Whatever Christian
who you negotiating with?
Yeah, exactly. Next.
I needed a little water, and I drank that.
I don't know who's doing her negotiations.
It's Sasha, the beer girl.
The beer cocktail girl.
And we'll get to that later. Wayne has been giving me shit. Wayne and Harry have been giving me shit for hours now. I am wounded. But we'll talk about the cocktail part later. But it's Sasha, the beer girl.
The beer cocktail
makes
girl.
A few cocktails on occasion.
And I'm Wayne, and it's not Wayne's Day, but it's Juneteenth.
It's Harry's Day.
It's Juneteenth.
And it's Juneteenth.
And you know what? The one thing, and you know what?
And Luther Vandross is playing.
It is.
It's Big Luther.
It's never too much, because the one thing about never too much.
Never too much.
And the crazy thing about songs tell a story.
Every time.
Juneteenth is never too much because this is not enough. Let's not get fooled with a holiday being too much.
Never too much.
Because a holiday is just recognition.
Because I tell you, it's been a holiday for me forever.
And a holiday is just recognition.
It is.
A holiday is not reparations.
Nope.
A holiday is not the end of racial disparity.
Holiday is not police reform.
The end of social economics reform. A holiday is not the end of police reform.
A holiday is not
the end of killing us.
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy. And I, for one, as a Muslim, believe that the white man is intelligent enough. If he were made to realize how black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromise and sweet talk. Stop sweet talking him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what kind of hell you've been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, if he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down. Let's start the show.
Teach critical race theory. How the hell are we going to teach kids about Juneteenth and not be able to teach accurately the history of Juneteenth?
See?
You dig what I'm talking about?
See what I'm saying?
You know what? This is for another podcast. My bad.
I know. But what is the Juneteenth
bad.
podcast? But that's why we started this.
You're right.
That's why we started this.
You're
but
right.
You see, on this holiday, they thought that since it's a holiday, that we could skip over everything else.
Hey, just wait till I start drinking this gin.
Us with a holiday. Well, we're here to let you know a holiday is just the beginning. It's not the end. It's the beginning of trying to create this end in this racial gap, this racial disparity. Because at the end of the day, they're still trying to stop the voting processes that's going on around the country to stop us from getting to the voting booth so they can keep passing these laws to keep what's going on in this country alive.
This is why I say voting in your local elections is more important than your national ones.
And again, this whole critical race theory piece, you know what? It has made me even more, it made me ponder even more Malcolm's quote that, and I'm not quoting him, I'm paraphrase. But you're a damn fool if you expect the oppressor to educate your children properly.
See? They're not gonna do it.
We knew this was coming at some point. It's already been happening de facto, but now it's de jure. We've already been told what's important and what's not, and what's going to be omitted from history. But now they're going to put it on paper and say, hey, this is what you can't talk about. But as for me and mine, you already know where we at.
See, and don't let this Juneteenth holiday fool us into thinking it was that long ago, because 1865 was just a minute ago.
Man, listen.
My grandfather was born in 1907.
Yeah.
That means his peoples were slaves. Christian's grandmother was a slave.
If we
that wasn't that long ago.
If we look at it, and I'm about to have a nerd moment real quick, but if we look at history in the context of time, like real time, 100 years ago was nothing.
Nothing.
Chris's grandma,
150
years ago was nothing.
93?
93.
Right. So for context, 100 years is a blip on the radar.
Absolutely.
In the context of history. So we can't continue to talk about American chattel slavery and Jim Crow and all of these things as if they were a lifetime ago, when my parents and grandparents lived through these things. So I'm not willing to leave it at, hey, that was a long time ago, let's move forward. Yeah, fuck that.
But even
it wasn't a long time ago.
But even if they were to still teach this in school, like a kid educated in school only is an uneducated kid. So we still have to do our parts at home. So, I mean...
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, like I said, you know how me and mine roll.
Oh, yeah,
so,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, let's not forget, man. I was bused as part of segregation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 39
You're only
years old.
39.
What?
Yeah. Get the bell for that.
No.
No.
Bell for that lie.
I'm 39 years old, and I was bused as part of segregation.
Yeah.
In Detroit, from the west side over to the Brightmoor area, as part of segregation.
Yeah.
You know, in the Finkel Telegraph area, is where I was bused to go to elementary and middle school.
Hey man, shout out to Brightmoor, man.
You know,
I'll give you a bell for that.
This, and this was the late 70s to the early to mid 80s.
Yeah.
This was just a minute ago.
Yeah.
This ain't that long ago.
Nah.
But you're 37? This is late.
Hey man, I was a genius. I was in elementary school as
a child prodigy, man.
I graduated high school at 4 years old.
Math ain't add up. Okay.
Right, your math ain't mathing, dog.
That's bullshit.
My math, man. You know, hey, don't be checking my math. My math, no matter how you math to math.
Yeah, man.
So, hey, but back to Juneteenth, man. Hey, look, we know this is the beginning. We're going to continue the celebration. Shout out to Dane and Eastern Market crew for having us again for the third year in a row.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, and we stuck this black excellence in a barrel a year ago.
Yeah.
Man, it's phenomenal right now.
Those of you who are not here, come on down and check it out.
It's a straight up chocolate milkshake right now.
Yeah. We've added to the lineup abolitionists.
Abolitionists.
Man, abolitionist is Sasha's coconut all over the place.
Coconut and molasses.
And as it warms, the coconut just comes on
my
out.
Caribbean heart.
Oh, so if you don't love coconut, you might want to stay away. But if you love coconut like Sasha,
it's your thing.
The beer girl.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Sasha the beer girl.
Yeah.
You know, she get beers named after her. She gets
cocktails and she don't let nobody taste it. Well, not nobody. She lets some people taste them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you make friends outside of Sasha, they bring you some.
Right.
Hey, you know, I met a friend named Aaron. And Aaron, you know, are we going to talk to Aaron a little later on?
We are going to, yeah.
And I met Aaron, and Aaron said, hey, would you like to try the cocktail?
Yeah.
I said, sure. And Aaron said, they were out of beer? They were out of beer. They had no more beer in there? Okay, I bet they had another beer I'd like.
You're lying.
Okay, I'm lying. I'm sorry. I just can't believe, man. I sent this guy for a beer. He was like, they're out of beer. How's Eastern Market Brewing Company out of beer?
The brewery is out of beer.
The brewery's out of beer.
Yeah.
You know?
We're still live. We're still live.
Hey, shout out to Aaron for bringing us down the seas of change. And, hey, we got an exciting show coming up today. We're going to talk to the artists that have prepared.
We got a couple local legends coming up.
Yes.
Artists and beer folk and whatnot.
And we talking to Smokey Joe's, who provided the videos down here.
Hey, man, hit the bell for that. Yeah.
And we got local legend, Annette, coming down talking about Pimenta and Pink Boots.
If you had a beer in the Metro Detroit area in the last 20 years, Annette had something to do with it. Wow. Whether she sold it to
you know, now you know, and we're gonna tell you about it so that you know from now on.
Yes, indeed.
So we got a lot coming on, and if you don't know about the program going on in Schoolcraft, we're gonna talk about that as well briefly. And so we got a lot of things going on.
A lot of stuff.
This episode
we're
jam packed. And who we got first up coming up?
So I know we wanted to talk to Aaron first. I'm not certain where Aaron
Perhaps
is.
he went to get more drinks.
So
go get more drinks
for you.
At least somebody is. Consider it. So I ain't mad at him.
So what? So let's do this. I mean, we have Annette right here. We have Annette and Johanna right here. Let's jump into this first.
Okay, well we gonna all right.
Yeah, ladies.
Ladies, jump up. We gonna skip the agenda and jump around.
Yeah, we're not married to our agenda. We are swift and changeable, as they say.
Yes.
So I'll let you all introduce you. Annette, you need no introduction, but I'll let you go ahead and do it anyway.
Local legend.
Oh, I'm all embarrassed. So, hello, thank you so much. This is really impromptu. We're just down here having a good time at Eastern Market Brewing Company, and all these lovely people invited us to speak a little bit. So thank you, and it's really nice to see everybody.
Thank you for agreeing to come on.
And cheers to everybody, and cheers to Eastern Market for hosting this great event.
Cheers to that.
So, my name's Annette May, and I'm an instructor in the Schoolcraft Brewing and Distillation Technology program. I'm here with Johanna, and she will introduce herself shortly as well. She's a brewing scientist, and she is also faculty at Schoolcraft Brewing program. But part of the reason we're here to talk is because both of us are involved with separate organisations. I'm with a local organisation called Fermenter. I'm the scholarship director, and Johanna is with the Southeast Michigan Pink Boots Society chapter.
Pink Boots Society, all right.
Hey, now with this Fermenter program, what type of scholarships do you give away with that?
They do vary. So one thing that Fermenter does, and actually Pink Boots recently instigated that, is that we give scholarship to women, and both of us are focused on diversifying the industry with women, and there's a lot of that going on. So we're both very passionate about that.
That is square business.
Yes.
Nice.
So we give scholarship to women in all the fermented beverages, not just beer. And now Pink Boots Society does that as well. So they really vary. So just recently, we just actually finished up a round of scholarships. So we were actually, one of our scholarships, we just awarded a cash amount for any brewing program, course or class in any of the fermented beverages. And we had quite a few applications for that scholarship. And the woman that won was in the wine industry, and she was pursuing wine certification, sommelier certification, so we awarded her, or she won a scholarship for money towards her wine education.
Nice.
We also recently gave some scholarships. Actually, Sasha is a recipient of a Fermenter scholarship.
Really?
Yes.
What are you
doing? Cheers to you, Sasha.
She won a
Sasha, what's going on with you? What are you doing?
Sasha.
I hate you.
Did you win the Road to Cicerone books? Yes. So I'm going to point out that both Johanna and I are certified Cicerones. I'm actually an advanced Cicerone. So what that means is we're certified beer professionals.
Nice.
We've sat pretty rigorous exams and passed them, luckily. And so there's an organisation called the Cicerone Certification Program that certifies the people. So they have a lot of resources, and they have a lot of educational resources. So one of our recent scholarships was some educational material from the Cicerone Certification Program that helps you study towards the exam. And that's what Sasha was an application, and our scholarship committee voted her the winner of that particular scholarship.
So I want to ask
really
you a
excited
question about that, Annette.
Yes.
Are you the first woman Cicerone ever?
Well, I was, but
hold on. That's not a was. It is. You will always be the first,
Annette,
right?
Annette, we're talking square biz here.
We're talking square business. You will always be the first, right?
Well, I was the first female that became a certified Cicerone. That's the second level of the program. What that meant for me, I mean, again, it's like, people say, well, you're a female brewer, what's that like? It's no different to being a brewer.
Right.
You're a brewer. I'm a Cicerone. It doesn't matter if I'm a woman or a man. But the thing that I did focus on, because at the time, and this was about 15 years ago, there were not as many women involved in beer, but I chose that as an opportunity to reach out to women and mentor women and say, you can do this too.
Yes.
So that's why I think it was important. It gave women in beer a really good foot in the door and a lot of recognition. So I think it was important to just promote diversity in women in the beer industry, and I really went forward with that, and that was before Fermenter was formed, and that's one of the things, again, we've been focusing on. So, again, being a female Cicerone is no different. You're a Cicerone. Who cares what gender you are?
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that. I wanted to mention it, though, because you're a pioneer in that way, and I feel like we would be remiss and not mentioning that. So,
well, thank you.
And, we've known each other for a very long time,
yes,
and
Harry and I go way back.
Yeah, but I admire that, and I also admire the comments you just made, in that it's a cicerone is a cicerone, a brewer is a brewer, and that is the point that we try to get to with Brewz Brothaz, is that this community does and should include everybody.
Yes,
it's a tapestry, and it should look, it should not be a monochrome sort of presentation, which we often find it is. So, and
Harry, let me jump in. I do have to say this, because when I first met Annette, I have to say, hearing the cicerone title was a bit kind of daunting and almost intimidating to us. And you say, wow, I thought I knew a lot about beer. And
I don't know shit.
Right.
I'm going to talk to the cicerone about beer. She knows everything about beer.
Right.
But you made it seem like, you know what, you were just so down to earth and approachable, to where it was just matter of fact and everyday approachable. And just as Harry was going, it's about everybody, and there's space for everybody. And I think that's a perfect segue to bring us into, tell us about Pink Boots and the Pink Boots Society, and let's transition and talk a little bit about that, and how does that translate from Schoolcraft and Fermenta into the Pink Boots Society.
So I'm going to introduce Johanna, and of course she can introduce herself.
I got questions for Johanna too. You sit tight. We coming.
Johanna is our brewing science instructor in the Schoolcraft Brewing program. Okay. So she does an incredible job. She's also a cicerone, and I will just pass it over to Johanna now. So go ahead.
Thanks, Annette. I'm Johanna. I helped start our Pink Boots Society chapter here in Southeast Michigan. Previously, I had helped start a Pink Boots chapter in St. Louis, so I had a little bit of experience under me behind that.
So you're like a hired gun, huh?
Yeah, right. You're a mercenary, right?
So I'm really excited to get that going here. It seems like we've got a great community, and it seems like everyone's really excited about it so far. We're brand new. We're going to have our first meeting on July 12th. Over at Brewery Faison in Detroit.
Nice. Yeah. Those spots. Hey, hit the bell for Faison. Yeah, those are people over there.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we're doing an off-flavor training there. So
we're doing that together. So if anybody wants to learn about like beer of flavors.
And you said that's on July 12th?
That's on July 12th.
Now I know this is a Pink Boots event.
Yeah.
Is it open to anybody?
So everybody is entitled, I believe, to one free meeting, and after that they do require a membership. The membership is $45, and the thing about Pink Boots is, to become a member, that you do need to be a professional in the brewing industry in some way or another. So you can be a beer writer, you can be
what
a
if
bartender.
I'm a professional consumer of beer?
That's what
like a podcaster.
Podcasters are eligible.
Hey, so this is I would never want to feel like I'm encroaching on territory that I don't belong in. So is this space for men and women, or is this a space that is for women in beer?
It is more geared towards women specifically.
Okay.
It is an international organization, so some of that is a little bit out of our hands here on our own leadership board. But the Pink Boots Society website can help guide you with all that membership.
Okay.
All the specifics.
I won't crash the party.
But again, the actual events, like you said that everybody can come to one meeting.
I believe everybody is allowed at one meeting, and following that, we require either, I believe, a meeting fee or a membership. I don't even know, because it's not my rule.
Right. But you get to hang out once for free, then it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hey, that sounds like a Brewz Brothaz model we should have got.
You know what? I think we're gonna have to go online and check out their rules.
Yeah.
We can adopt some of those. Hey, Jimmy, you might have exceeded your one meeting limit. We're gonna check that out.
What is becoming a professor of brewery science? What does that road look like?
Well, I actually came from strict science background. I have a degree in biology. I did some research for a little while on scoliosis and developing embryos and the zebrafish. Anyway, not beer. The way that science works is you get grants, and then you get jobs, and you lose them, and you get a different job, and it's just kind of a little bit scary. So I found
she's been published.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say you get to ring the bell. There you go.
Yes. I have been published, yes. Finally, it took about 5 years.
Nice.
It's because it's a big paper. It's really exciting work.
Congratulations.
What's the
Thank
paper
you.
about, if we can ask?
Scoliosis. It's about,
Okay.
we found about 20 different genetic links to scoliosis, which were previously completely unexplored.
I'm a total dork, so I want to read this paper.
He's not
Deep.
He is a dork. Yes.
in a good way.
Y'all don't have to be so quick to back that up, you know.
I have a quick question. How did you guys come up with the name Pink Boots
All right,
for the?
That's a story for the founder, and that goes back like 12 years. I know a very rough version of it.
So I've got a pretty good idea.
Okay,
so I thought it was older than 12 years. I could be wrong.
I think it might be 12, 15, something like that.
So, and I'm sure you know, of course you know some of this. The Pink Boots was started by a woman called Terry Farrendorf, and she was a brewer on the West Coast. And Pink Boots refers to, like, you wear, like, so I'm Australian and we call them gumboots. So I'm not sure if everyone knows
I
what
would have
gumboots
never guessed
are.
you were Australian in that.
Well, gumboots is a Britishism too, like, you know. So I don't know, Monty Python, they often wear gumboots.
Damn colonizers.
So I don't know, what do you call them? Wellingtons? Brewers need to wear big waterproof boots.
Yep.
And Terry, and Terry, I just wanted to give some recognition to the fact that she was a woman. So I don't know if she actually wore pink boots.
Okay.
But it was like pink, these big, huge pink, waterproof boots, because she was a female brewer.
Yeah, she traveled around to a few different breweries that way.
So one day she decided she was really a pioneer in brewing, and she's, still around and everything. She's, I think she's younger than I am still. But anyway, so she decided one day to sort of temporarily give up her job, and she bought herself a tiny little trailer, and she hooked it onto the back of her car, and she toured the whole country and spent time, and she settled all this up in advance, brewing in different breweries all around the country, and just sleeping in her little wee trailer on the back of the car.
Wow.
And she got all this different experience, and she met a lot of women on the way, and she formed this, basically it was a trade group for female brewers, because this was probably, I swear it was longer than 12 years ago. I think it was like in the 80s or 90s.
Okay.
Yes.
It is, right?
Yes.
I'm like, this should be on
And
TV.
she, wanted to meet more female brewers, because back then there wasn't a ton of them. So it's grown since then. So it is now a huge international organisation.
That is pretty dope.
And they have, they have a board and they have a director, and Terry is still involved. I mean, she's still with us. I think she works for a malting company now. I'm not sure, but she's still around. So thanks to Terry Farrendorf, and the pink boots symbolise women in brewing.
Nice.
But a lot of women actually wear these pink
so
boots.
Speaking of women in brewing, you got a project in the works. I don't know how much you want to talk about it.
Well,
but it's out there, right? It's on social media.
I can talk about it, but I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I will not be brewing.
It will not be a disappointment at all.
Well, I will not be brewing, so,
that is a disappointment. But I know that the person who will be brewing, right?
Well, yes, but I'm very upfront about this. I am not a brewer, so I'm involved in everything else. When it comes to getting that beer to the customer's glass, it's a huge process. So beer doesn't end in the brewery. And a lot of people think it does. You can brew a perfect beer, but it can be totally ruined along the way to getting into your glass.
Certainly.
By a number of factors that get pretty complicated, and that's what I teach and that's what I focus on. Be brewing in the actual brewery. I am very fortunate to be married to a lovely, lovely man who's just standing over there, but he is a brewer. He's a home brewer and a professional brewer. So we actually are opening a brewery in Eastern Market, and my husband will be doing the brewing. But I will be training the staff and making sure that the beer gets to the customer in the exact way that my husband intended it.
So you're quality control.
On the service side.
Right.
So Johanna is quality control on the actual brewing side.
Okay.
I mean, she's not going to be working in our brewery. I wish she was, but she's
so
not.
Annette, can we know when will Brewz Brothaz be allowed to podcast for the grand opening?
The grand opening will be sometime in 2022. That's all I know right now. We're still...
Put it on your calendar.
Yes.
Sometime in
So
2022. We'll be there.
And we
I'm
have
sorry,
a webpage.
if we're allowed, if you'll have
If
us.
you'll have us,
Oh, come now. So if you look at our webpage, actually, originally when my husband started the webpage, he wrote, coming in 2021 if the world doesn't end before then. But it's now going to be 2022, and I think we're okay. I think we're not I think we're all going to be here in 2022.
So, is there a theme? Like, what type of beers can we expect from?
We're going to do not entirely traditional, but there's going to be a good amount of traditional styles. Traditional German beers. We're going to have lagering tanks. So we'll be doing traditional German styles. We'll be doing traditional British styles. We'll be doing traditional British cask condition ale, which is what some people refer to as the warm flat beer from England. But it's not warm and it's not flat. It is cask condition ale. We have what we'll be.
This is why we need Annette to have a brewery.
So excited for cask ale.
So again, there's going to be some traditional beers, but of course we'll be having IPA and we'll be having Imperial Stout and we'll be having, many,
if I
many
may make
different
just one
things
suggestion,
as well.
Annette.
I'm sorry?
Stay away from figs.
Stay.
Oh, God.
So, Annette, you are central in this ongoing story that we have. So, I don't know if you remember, but many moons ago, I was a huge fan of Fig Jam from Arbor Brewing
Fig
Company.
Jam.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll tell. Let me tell
Oh,
you.
you said stay away from figs?
Yes.
Not on your life.
No.
Tell him.
Okay.
Annette, this is the story. And this was back at Merchants, and back in the days when you would hold stuff for Harry and I came and you were like, hey, what's new? And you said, hey, I got this Fig Jam in. And this was back in the days where singles were out. And I was like, okay. And you were like, hey, this Fig Jam is great. And I'm like, Annette, if you say it's great, I'll take it and I love it. I don't need one. If you say you
were right,
if
Annette.
you say it's great, give me the 4-pack. And I took that 4-pack home.
Did you drink the whole 4-pack
I
in
didn't
one
drink
sitting?
the one. I didn't drink the one. That was the one beer that, in my opinion, Annette ever got wrong.
No,
that's
you
the
got
one
it wrong,
beer.
Wayne.
So the
In
thing
my
is,
opinion,
he won't say it. He got it wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody else knows
and
it.
Annette,
I still have
and
2
Annette,
bottles of it.
And Annette,
Whoops, that'll be oxidized.
and Annette, Harry got all the other 3 bottles. And
Did you drink it, Harry?
I sure
Yes,
did.
he did. But it was like, Harry, every other recommendation Annette ever gave me, I love through and through. But that, I call it the unmentionable. That Fig Jam, and that's the only time I've ever said it since. Other than that, it's been the unmentionable, and it's the ongoing joke in all our Brewz Brothaz podcasts as the unmentionable.
And he is consistent.
I'll have you know I love
So
that.
do you care to eat figs? Have you ever eaten a
I
fresh
like
fig?
Belgian quads.
No,
I
have you
don't-
had a fresh
I
fig?
eat figs.
I've seen
I
this
like
brother
to
eat
eat figs.
figs before. He likes figs.
I just
wonder
that beer.
why, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that beer. It's
Well-
just that beer from Arbor Brewing Company. Just
It's
that beer
just
specifically
you. It's just you.
was
Well,
just.
you may be comforted to know that I doubt my husband will be brewing with figs, but figs will feature on the menu.
Hey.
Because I think, a dish is not complete unless it's got a fresh fig next to it.
Okay.
my
All right.
God.
I am
So
crazy
that'll be
about
your
fresh
influence.
figs.
So when we see the fig on the plate, know that was your thing.
I love
huh?
figs, and I've made fig tarts, and I love fig jam, and
Where do you
figs
get
will
your fresh
factor.
fig here?
Well, they're seasonal, and I usually get them at Westbourne Market in Dearborn. And again, it's a short season, but I swear every time they've got fresh figs there, I go in and buy a whole tray, and I find excuses to feed them to people. So
that'd be great.
I was going to say, I don't think you need to. I think you just need to give Sasha your address.
That's
Yeah.
But again, you'll be comforted to know that I doubt my husband will be brewing with
Hey,
figs.
all right.
But,
well,
they are
I'm
a good.
comforted. And look, Annette, you're 99.9% in my book. Just that one.
And
was
now
that
you're
only one.
100% in my book. Hell with what he's talking about.
So, Johanna, do you like figs? Do you have any input on
Everyone likes figs
Great,
except
yeah,
for
no,
Wayne.
I would try
He's
fig
the
jam.
outlier. So listen, I'm glad that we were able to spend some time with
Hey,
you both.
thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
Well, thank
stopping
you for
by.
having us.
It's always
The
a pleasure.
legendary Annette.
And look,
I'm
we've got
just
this gun for hire coming in
going
from
red.
St. Louis too, with the new Pink Boo Society.
You know what? You've
We
got another
appreciate you.
Brewz Brothaz family member in your class, Barb Baker. Barb Hollywood.
Well,
Barb Hollywood.
Well, I actually tried to get her. I assume she'd be here today, and I spoke
Yeah.
to her this morning. And
Well, but the
she just
evening's
had
not
a
over,
little
so.
bit too much on her plate today.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
she has a big Juneteenth party tomorrow with her family, and she's
Yeah.
cooking to do, and she
She
has
is-
so much stuff.
She's
to
an
do.
official Brewz
Annette,
Brothaz family.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen her and Sasha at the same
Yes.
time?
Oh,
She
yes.
has seen us
They're the
together.
same
We've
person.
never seen them together.
I have seen them.
So
together.
Harry and I,
we think
are
they're the same
wondering
person.
if they're not one and the same
If
person.
you had hung out
because
at
we've never
Cultivate-
seen them together.
I will tell you that Sasha has been brought into the brewing industry already. So Fermenter and Eastern Market
Okay.
Brewing,
Okay.
we did a collaboration beer for
Harry,
International Women's
put the
Day.
check. Annette vouches
right
that
here.
they're different people.
Yeah.
But we've still never seen them separate.
Oh,
Haven't seen
well,
it happen.
Barb was here with Taylor, and Taylor helped shovel out the mash tun. Taylor
Sasha
helped
there?
shovel out grain,
Somebody take
Was-
video.
and they were both. And I have a picture. I'll have to show you a
Annette.
picture.
Was Sasha there too?
No.
That's not
Our
where she's
Sasha?
seen us
No.
together.
But was Sasha there?
They keep hinting
Sasha was
that,
not there
that
either,
we're
was
the
she?
same person
See?
because
Okay.
they don't.
No.
We never seen them in the
Sasha
same
and
place.
Barb or Sasha and Taylor?
No.
Sasha and Barb.
See,
Sasha
that's the
and
point.
Barb.
We never
You
see
saw-
them in the same place together.
Annette, you saw Barb
Yes.
and Taylor, but Sasha was not there, was she?
She has seen me and Barb together.
I have seen them together at Cultivate.
Thanks for stopping by. We love
Do
you.
you have? Did you take pictures?
I did.
You have photos?
There is.
Hey, we know a lot can be done with
Yeah,
photo
exactly,
shopping, so
exactly.
that's not approved.
So yeah, thank
who's
you
up
both.
next?
Yeah, thank you both for your time. Hey, we got a couple people
Thanks
up
so
next.
much.
Thank you.
Cheers,
we got
everybody.
Aaron
Cheers.
coming up from the Black Farmers Collective, and then we got Joe from Smoky Joe's. So
We're gonna have them. Yes, let's have them both sit down.
I was gonna say we got 2 chairs. Let's have everybody have a seat.
And look, that makes sense from the Farmers Collective and Smoky Joe's. We talking food.
Hey man,
We talking food. Next
Hey,
up,
can we get the bell for this?
hit
Hey,
the bell for
I'm
Gotta hit
The ice is gonna melt.
hit the.
so yeah, the ice is
I
going
brought
up.
you one.
So
I
yeah,
put
let's
it down in front of you. I don't know
We
if
need
you
more
saw
Hey,
it.
thank
Yes.
you, and we appreciate that.
No,
because you know what?
no problem.
Sasha wasn't thinking about us.
No,
So,
hey,
and I'm
but
getting
she
ready.
was
You know
thinking
what?
of you and she made the libation. I
No,
mean,
she
this is
wasn't.
important.
So we just
You
sat
can't make
down.
up for her.
We
Don't
just
even
sat
try
down,
it.
and
We ain't gonna allow that to happen.
We
Aaron,
just-
thank you. We appreciate you.
We just had Joe, my brother Joe Wilson from Smoky Joe's.
Smoky
We just had him
Joe's
sit
in the
down,
house.
and I don't know where Jasmine is. She's out doing Jasmine
Where is
things.
Jasmine?
Hey,
just got pulled away.
shout out to
Here.
Jasmine, and I'm sure she was tired of hearing my voice for the last couple of weeks because because I insisted that my brother from Smoky Joe's be the only food vendor here today.
All right now.
So I appreciate that. And Joe, the food is amazing. You done what I knew was going to happen, but I straight up see like boxes and plates on every table here. So
My food is over there, and I want to eat it now. I don't want people to like
There's a
watch
long
me.
line.
So Joe, let's talk to you first, so you can get back to cooking and whatever you need to do on the truck. Talk to us a little bit about your business, man. How you got started, where folk can find you.
Jump to it, Joe.
Smoky Joe's Barbecue, as you can see behind you. It's a family-owned business. It's me and my wife, and we've been doing this for a few years now. So we've had the trailer since 2018.
Come to the mic a little bit, Joe.
Yeah,
Come to the mic a little bit. Come to the mic.
So we've had the trailer since 2018. And we started in 2016. Actually, how it came about was I was getting married in 2017. I said, we need to make some money.
Yeah.
To pay for this wedding.
Yeah, hit the bell for that. Yes, sir.
Man, that's all right. You was getting married and said, "Hey, babe, we need to start a business, pay for this wedding."
Man.
So
That's
it was
a
birthed
union
out
made
of,
in.
it was.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
It was birthed out of, for me, what I look at as a craft and a hobby was competition barbecue. So in 2016, I entered a competition in Oakland County. It was the largest amateur rib competition in the state of Michigan in Lathrop Village, put on by the Oakland County Parks. And I won.
Nice.
So I was
All right.
the dark horse in that competition.
Yeah.
Shout out to Oakland County.
Shout out to Oakland County.
Shout out to the winner.
After I won,
Aaron, you looking real
people
relaxed
started
over there.
coming
You
up
all
and
right?
saying, Hey, where you located?
She been drinking this seeds of change.
We got to figure out where we're located.
yeah.
So
Right.
from there, I said, you know what? I don't want brick and mortar, and I'm glad I did not. Given what we
Yeah.
saw happen
Yeah.
over the last
Yeah.
year or so, we're still here. Actually, COVID actually helped our business.
I'm sure it did.
There were so many people who had weddings planned, and the venues had to cancel on them. We catered weddings right from the food truck.
And just let me tell y'all something. I go to see Joe whenever I can. My parents love his food so much, I gotta stalk him and find out where he is. No matter where he is, I gotta go get something and take it back home to them. But regardless of where it is, Bellevue, Westland,
Bradford.
West Side of Detroit, there is always a line wrapped around the corner.
And people wait patiently.
People are happy to wait. It's legit.
You waited patiently.
Patiently.
So for me, the reward is people say,
man, I'm waiting on this brisket.
That was a long line. I waited, all that time.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, people say, man, I don't like waiting in long lines. I want to get in and get out. But you got to understand what we're serving from that truck. You're not getting chicken fingers and french fries.
Yeah.
And no offense to any trucks that are serving that.
Right, but it's not a deep fryer back there.
But you're getting soul food.
Yeah.
You're getting, barbecue. I mean, have you had my wife's mac and cheese?
I did not today.
I ordered 2 because I knew that inevitably I'm going to want another one later. So I killed one.
So our mac bowls is a really popular item. It's a 16-ounce serving, mac and cheese, topped with your choice of meat. Chicken, pork, or beef.
I was about to say, Adam just had it.
You get a beef hot link on top.
Adam just had it.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah.
So, it's not a hoax.
Yeah. It's real deal.
And I figured that out. At first I said, maybe it's a hoax. I said, no.
It's real deal.
People are waiting.
What's your most popular dish, Joe?
It's hard to say, honestly, because it depends on what you're in a mood for. We call it the original, the sampler.
Yeah.
For $20, you're getting barbecue chicken, rib tips, and pulled pork with a side of mac and cheese.
You see how Aaron's face lit up?
Either bacon or mac and cheese.
Aaron, like, where that?
Right.
You getting all that?
Yeah.
$20.
I was on the menu today. It's over there.
Oh, yeah.
Like right now? Right now? You still have some?
And then all beef. All beef dinner is for those that don't want pork.
Yeah, I do that. I do the all beef boy.
You can get the beef brisket and the beef hot link. Now that beef hot link,
That
I will
hot link
never
is that
tell
deal.
my source for that, but that beef hot link.
I tried to get it out of him too, man.
I saw you eating it. You were into
I was like,
It's just the right amount of spice.
I tried to get him out of it.
Okay. All right. I don't do pork. I do limited amount of beef, but
I was like,
I love hot
Joe,
links.
man, that's a good hot link, bro.
You too.
I try, and he knew I was trying to get out. And he just kind of looked at me and winked. He knew I was trying to get it out.
I know.
So what's your favorite thing to cook? Because I do a little grill work, you know what I'm saying? But I do it at home for my family, and that's really...
Honestly, I would have to say the brisket.
Okay.
Why? Because it's the most challenging.
Yeah.
It's the most difficult to make. The brisket is so temperamental.
Yeah.
You have to do it right.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about salmon. You gotta...
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Salmon is one
Salmon,
of those.
you can either go hot and fast.
Yeah.
You can go low and slow, but
Then you risk drying it out.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you have to find.
I'm
that
very
window.
particular about my brisket, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
But
an
you
artist.
tell me
I'm
it's
sensitive
okay, I
about
know
my
that.
shit.
It's all right. Now, one of the things I haven't rolled out yet, but burn ends.
You heard it here first on Brewz Brothaz. Smokey Joe's will at some point at a truck near you be rolling out some burn ends.
Definitely.
Is it coming?
It's coming.
You know what? You know what? You know what?
Do
We
get a
might
notice?
have to have Smokey Joe's come do the Skip Day party and roll out the burn ends at the
Let's
Skip
do
Day
that.
party.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Get Skip Day.
Because you know what? Take me off the grill at
Take
Skip
you off the
Day
grill,
so that I
yes.
can just
Please,
enjoy.
please.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's dope. That's
How
dope.
about
Yes,
that?
yes.
You know. And for those who don't know about Skip Day,
Joe
you don't need
Joe
to
got
know
the same
about
motto
Skip
I
Day.
do. If you got the money, I got the time. Cut the check.
Okay.
Now I will say this: I was introduced to Black excellence and abolitionists today.
Yes,
Courtesy
sir.
of Jasmine.
Yes, sir.
I told her
And
to bring
she's
me a
walking
sample.
away.
She brought you. Yeah.
So with
She
that,
keeps walking away.
as you know, I'm a bourbon and scotch guy.
Absolutely.
So as I'm tasting this, I'm going, this tastes like bourbon.
Yeah. Well, it's been resting in Heaven Hill bourbon for a year.
And you know what I'm thinking that would go good with?
I was just that was my next question. What cigar would you pair with this?
Well,
Oh. I don't smoke.
Or were you on
I need the
food?
food. I need
You on food?
Let's go
I
food.
remember- I
Let's go
remember
food. Let's go
food.
I
food.
was thinking about the brisket
See?
with that black excellence.
I think that you should do that,
That's tough right there.
and you should let us
Hit the
know.
bell on that one.
All right.
Yeah. So you
Whatever
talking
you
about
say.
brining it in that?
I don't know about grinding, but a pairing.
Yeah.
Definitely a pairing. Too.
Okay.
Now, as far as a good cigar with that, that's a good question. What do you
Because it's got some nice depth to it. It's got some
some
coffee
nice
notes. It's got a lot of chocolate. As you all know,
I might go with a Not Your Father's with that.
I was about to say, I enjoy a cigar, but I'm not aficionados like the two of you. I know what I like, and I stick to that. I don't venture out far.
Because, after that, Black Excellence and a nice brisket, I might just say, I ain't your daddy.
Well, you know me. Hey, I'm going to be like, Wayne, you got any more of those Land O'Lakes Jones? Either that, or I'm on my Monte Cristo number two.
That butter would be nice.
That butter would be nice.
That butter would
and
be nice.
My Monte Cristo number two is my go-to.
Okay. Now, the thing about that Robert Caldwell, he really not he's not making them anymore.
Yeah.
But you can,
they can be acquired. Yeah. It ain't what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the cigar that I think will go with that.
Okay.
We 40 minutes in. Okay.
Grab my cigar out of my front seat.
So we got you ready to roll. So is that what you do typically when you're done? You spark one up and roll out?
I do.
I have a quick question. You say I'm sorry, Wayne. I got a quick question. You say you into bourbon and whiskey. Like, what's your go-to after you done had a long day on the truck?
How I'm feeling. It could be a Woodford Reserve night.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be a Four Roses night.
Yeah.
As far as scotches, it can be a Highland Park night.
Mm-hmm. Do you get into the peaty stuff at all? The LaCroix and the Arbegs and
a little bit. I've been venturing out some.
Okay.
So it all depends on how much money I made. If I had a good night, then we'll go with an 18-year-old.
Right. Okay. Bad night, we were drinking Monkey Shoulder, which is decent. It's a blend, but it's not. It ain't a single malt.
Right.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. I started with blends.
I think we all did.
Yeah. Johnny Walker has been good to me.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So, a good friend of mine introduced me to the stick right here yesterday. I haven't smoked it yet. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Oh yeah. Robert Caldwell does some nice sticks, man.
It's on my list.
Robert Caldwell does some very nice sticks.
So
he does that butter we were talking about.
That butter,
this might get.
He does the Not Your Father I mentioned.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Robert Caldwell.
I may venture out. Like I said, I stick to what I know. I'm really afraid of developing another habit.
I understand.
I think beer and spirits is quite enough.
Well, don't forget barbecue. That's one of your habits.
It is, right? So,
and look,
my wife hates my other two habits as it is.
Them.
She despises the smell of cigar smoke. So,
yeah, my wife doesn't want me smoking in the house either.
Yeah. See, yeah.
Now look, we're talking about briskets and we got a perfect segue.
We do have a perfect segue. What's up, Aaron? Hey, you know what? Hey, when I got here, Aaron was like, I don't really drink, and so I'm gonna have this one beer, and I think we'll see how it goes. How many have you had now? Where are we?
I said I need to go one at a time.
One at a time.
So I need to get some water in between.
Right. You gotta hydrate. So you looking real relaxed. How you feeling right now?
I haven't had the Black Excellence yet, though.
Do it.
I do need to.
You gotta do it.
I didn't. Well, I was so excited about the abolitionists, and then I was so excited about this.
Yeah. Oh.
So it was like again. So those two together, it was like.
So you got to taste this, is what
like more.
Did you tasted this already?
Yes, it's very good. And the funny thing is,
she gave me some too.
I did. That's true.
Stop.
She gave me some too.
I did.
Thank you, Aaron.
That's correct. You're welcome.
Aaron, you are so generous.
Wait, everybody got some?
You have a bottle sitting in
Wait,
front of you.
that's how her bill got broken. Everybody just passing it out.
Ask Aaron for some. She helped you. Don't ask Sasha though.
That's what.
Hey, ask Sasha who from Brewz Brothaz had an advanced taste.
Nobody yet, because I wanted you to do it on air. You have bottles and ice in front of you.
I don't have any ice in front of me.
That's yours. Well, it was if you shut up and drink it.
Wow.
Aaron, please pardon Sasha. Get you some water, baby. Go get some water.
I think
matter of fact, with somebody pass me some water, maybe I need some water.
It might be time for a break.
I thought it was Christian.
Sasha, we've never seen you such hostility.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I have.
We've never seen such hostility on here. And maybe it's time to take a break because,
Are we at break time?
I ain't going to fight you.
Aaron, will you be here in 15 minutes?
I'll be here over there.
So we've been alerted by the engineer that it's time to break, right?
And it's perfect. So I can go get some
you can go get some Black Excellence.
I mean, I am Black Excellence.
You absolutely.
I can go
hit the bell for that.
Also.
Hey, because what you do is so dope, and I can't wait to have you talk about it on Black.
Before we go to break, though,
yeah,
tell us briefly about the Black Farmland Fund.
Yes, the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund. So that, in part, is why I was so excited to help you out with this, because this was new. So myself, and one of our co-conspirators, we came here with Eastern Market Brewing Company. I love that term,
co-conspirators.
Well, because it's important.
Because allies are okay, but I need co-conspirators.
Right, exactly. Right. And we're big believers in that.
Yeah, I need to. If I'm in the shit, you in the shit too.
And that's what we need. You know.
Yeah.
And so we came here. We stirred up the brew. We put the hops in the big tub thing, we did all that so we can make the abolitionist stout, right? But I just found out about
last year that was
And so because Black Excellence was made last year,
but it's been sitting in a bourbon barrel for a year.
Let it marinate in that barrel.
I'm not super hip on beer. I know about farming.
We're gonna get you here.
Growing stuff.
We're gonna get you here.
Anywho, but so Seeds of Change, I hadn't tried it yet, but both abolitionist stout, 10% of sales of Black Excellent and Seeds of Change are all donating the Detroit Black Farmer.
And it just so happens that abolitionist is a 10% ABV stout. Wow. Look at that. It's
good. And I love stout. So it's I don't really drink a lot of beer, but if I drink beer, it's stout.
Oh, you're going to dig this Black Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm really excited that it's so good. I tried it the other day, and I was like, oh! We raised, short story of the long story is we raised funds to help black farmers in Detroit start farming on vacant land, because so often the only barrier is funds. I mean, some people have been growing on this land for 5 years. Some people are just really, have gone through a master gardening program, are really excited about bringing something new to their community, having local food, stopping blight, right? Because if people are growing stuff, it's amazing. You'll see these neighborhoods, everything is totally,
it looks brighter.
Burned out houses, trash everywhere. But as soon as somebody starts putting something in the ground, it stops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's astonishing. I mean, it speaks to the power of the land too in this work. And we're very connected. We are committed to making sure that Detroit black farmers have what they need to get back on the land.
And you know what was so powerful too? Awesome. We have to make sure that we can get that land, and we don't allow others to come get it.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Because others are trying to come get it and get it for little or nothing and move us out the way.
And do nothing with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Get it and
sit on it until somebody wants to develop
wants to improve it and wants to do something better.
And we've seen others try to come claim it for farmland when they're trying to get it for developmental purposes and enrichment purposes only.
Lots of speculative development, and they're going to the city we want to do this, and then the city's kind of holding up the land. It's people are like, man, I'm trying to put some peppers in the ground. I'm trying to feed the elders on my block. People don't have local fresh vegetables. This is a problem that we need to solve. We've seen that grocery stores coming to the city of Detroit. I mean, that's a decent solution, but ultimately, what COVID I think really taught everybody was that we need to be secure in our own food systems. To do that, the best way to do that is to grow our own food and to be connected and doing that with each other.
I was co-hosting a summit a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the term food desert and talking about how it really is a misnomer.
Right.
Because a desert is a naturally occurring event in nature.
This is not
having sustainable food in depressed areas is by design. This is not a natural occurrence.
Absolutely.
So referring to them as food deserts absolves the people responsible. It's disingenuous. And so even with the language, we got to be careful about how we talk about food apartheid. Exactly.
Because that's what it is. We got to start calling stuff what it is.
Hey, name it.
I mean, we got to start putting it out there because again, it's Juneteenth is a national holiday for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
However,
come on, we said at the top of the show, it's not reparations. It's not police reform. Come on. It's not educating our students.
It is not the be all end all.
It's not the be all end all by any means.
So Congress has had the George Floyd bill since March, and have not even scheduled it for a hearing, let alone considered it. So it's kind of this just happened.
Yeah.
It's but now you got Juneteenth in 2 days.
This is done to placate us.
I don't want to.
Let's not be fooled.
Fight the hand that feeds me, but I'm just saying. It's
Let's not be fooled.
You can do this in 2 days. You can do anything.
You can do anything.
This is
2 weeks or 2 months for that matter.
Let's get moving.
This is done to placate us and say,
stuff too.
We gave you Juneteenth. Move along. You get off. Leave us alone.
No, because that's not what we asked for.
Now, hey, but
we didn't. I didn't ask for that.
That's fine. It's good.
It's great.
But it's I don't.
But now
that's not going to change all of the problems that we're seeing that are impacting our community and that are not going anywhere because the people who have their feet on our necks are not moving. And so it's like Juneteenth is not. It's great. It's exciting. I'm glad that they let Kamala Harris talk about something for a while instead of Guatemala. Right. Like, I mean, I'm just saying. Like I'm a recovering black lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So I was excited to see her there, but like she's not. They're not letting her stay.
She's just hanging out. Yeah,
so
she's hanging out.
It was like, okay, so Kamala Harris gets to talk. That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like we got. This is a beginning.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not an end.
Absolutely.
And so
now.
So look, before we go to break, I was gonna say on that.
Where can we find you at? Where can our listeners go? And
we're not done with you. We bring you back.
We're gonna come back after break.
We can get real deep.
Yeah, we're gonna come back after break.
And we're pretty simple. We're on Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
We're gonna have a website coming soon. But the most important thing is we are going to be starting our campaign. We started last year on Juneteenth thinking we were going to make $5,000 or something. We ended up making $65,000.
All right.
I mean,
hit the bell
we're
for that.
starting tomorrow again for a second year. We're doing our campaign on CauseVox. That information will be available on our Instagram and our Facebook tomorrow morning, so that you all can share and donate and continue to support. Because this was a completely
be looking for a donation
movement.
of some sort from Brewz Brothaz.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a completely grassroots. I mean, we didn't have a lot of like $5,000, $10,000 gifts. This was like a bunch of people giving
this is
$25.
The people. This is for the culture.
And it just spoke to us on how important this is on a grassroots level.
For the culture.
So sharing is just as important as donating.
Yeah,
for real.
absolutely. Hey,
we got you on that.
We're also
too.
on Cash App, Detroit Black Farmer.
We gonna be back after break. It's 8:10 right now. We taking a quick. We gonna stick to this. 5-minute break. 5-minute break.
5-minute break.
5-minute break.
Hey, we got another superstar in the house.
We need Trey right there.
5-minute break. All right, there's your donation right there.
We're gonna be back. We're going back live at 8:15.
8:15. I'll be right here.
At 8:15. We going to 9 o'clock.
Brewz Brothaz for the
Brewz
culture.
Brothaz for the culture. Juneteenth edition. We'll be right back. Right back.
Brewz Brothaz for the culture. We are back.
We're back live.
For our third annual Juneteenth celebration.
And man, I can't wait because we're going to shut the show down with Jasmine.
Yeah, we're going to round it off with the star. Because without Jasmine, this doesn't happen in this way. So
in this second half, we're going to pick back up with
the lovely and talented Jasmine Harrison.
And then we're going to get the artists on the air.
Yeah, we're going to get the artists on.
We got 2 artists on.
Yep.
And then we gonna shut the show down with Jasmine.
And we might even squeeze
EMBC.
Kuma over here.
Oh man!
And then we got the folks from. I know we got the folks right. Man. Sasha likes a good squeeze. We got to squeeze Kuma in. She's a fan of squeeze. She's a fan of the squeeze. She likes the squeeze.
Stop! I like it.
So
no, we're not gonna talk about that.
If you don't like the squeeze, we can't get him in.
You don't even know what I like.
All right, well, you know what?
Let's carry on.
We can't get Kuma in. If Sasha don't like the squeeze, then we can't get him in. You know, I'm trying to work my man in, and Sasha don't like the squeeze. So moving right along.
So we back with Aaron.
You know what I'm saying? We keep it going. Hey, now Aaron, you know, what you sipping on there? I see. Did you get that Black Excellent?
I did. So I got Black Excellent.
Hey, I brewed that beer.
Wow, nice.
Aaron and I came up with the recipe.
We did. We came up with the recipe.
I came down to Eastern Market with my overalls on, my brewing gear on. I had on my boots, my gloves, in the morning.
And he's only 39.
Let's brew this beer.
All of this belongs in the same vein.
I was completely uninvolved. I just want to.
After she had nothing to do with it. I don't even know why she's here. Actually, you know,
this is how they treat me.
Well, hey yo, I haven't tasted that yet.
You know what?
But hey, we got real quick. Shout out to Akil out at Wren House, out in Arizona.
Shout out to Akil.
Yeah.
You know what? But you know what? Speaking of that, how does Sasha get all the accolades for what we do?
Man, you know,
no one gave me accolades for what y'all are doing. They gave me accolades for what I did.
No. You get accolades for everything we do.
I mean, well, no, he made it
that
sound
Buffalo
like,
Trace barrel that we picked.
Well, yes, he made it sound like I get all the accolades for everyone.
But we don't got nothing individual.
That's not it.
But let's go back.
That's not the way it works.
Okay.
You ain't gonna steal my joy.
I ain't got no beer.
You ain't gonna steal it.
I don't have a beer named after me.
Black Excellent. I was down there brewing Black Excellent. Was
Sweating. Yeah.
I was sweating.
Yeah.
And when Jasmine gets on, she can attest to what brewing beer is like.
Pop the Molly, I'm sweating. Woo!
How you listen?
I would have been there if I had an invitation.
Jasmine, you know, listen to those heavy bags,
yeah,
oats, barrels. I mean, that's heavy stuff.
I did it in a dress both times.
You did it in a dress? Did you?
Ain't it heavy?
So here's the test.
Yeah.
And you'll gain some points with Sasha depending on how you answer this.
Yeah. Okay.
Did your dress on either or both occasions have pockets?
No. Let me be clear. I love dresses. We're right. I was just talking to my husband. I was like, why do I have to be a woman and there's no? Why do women need pockets?
But let's go back.
Like, why don't I need pockets? Like, because you have a purse.
Let's go back.
Why do I also need?
You said you did it both times. Didn't you say you did it both times?
I think I did both times.
Sasha never did it.
Why are we?
Sasha never did.
I'm gonna tell you.
Look, we have to remember.
Aaron, we're talking about you.
We're
not talking about
the creative.
We're talking about you.
Thought processes. That's also work and labor, and it's undervalued.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I gotta shout Sasha out because before I saw her have this conversation, I never knew how big of a deal pockets on the dress was. She made a Facebook post about having a pocket on her dress.
Hey, wait a minute.
It was like 1,000 comments with women like, oh my God, a dress with pockets. I love it.
Stop here.
Yeah.
While we squeezing people in,
we
got to squeeze in the Movement Street here. We got the Movement Street down here too. We got the Movement Street down here. We got to get them on board. You know, they might have to get on the mic too.
Hey, she gonna keep walking like I don't know what she's talking about.
The Movement Street might want to get on the mic too. They got a Juneteenth event going on tomorrow.
Yep.
So we might have to shout out their event going on tomorrow.
Yeah, y'all want to borrow my mic real quick?
I have to get them on.
You want to borrow my mic real quick and talk about
the Movement Street?
Hi,
what's going on with the Movement Street tomorrow? What y'all got going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're gonna have several vendors at Detroit Farm and Cider, the first and only black-owned cider mill in the city.
Yeah.
Hey.
We're installing a little library, and we're gonna have different activities, face paint.
Oh, wait,
and,
Morgan, you're my student.
Rose in the house.
My side job, I'm an adjunct professor at Howard University, where Morgan is a student. She was my student.
Aye.
Good student, I may add. And she's doing big things, which I really love.
She is doing big things.
I love to lift up my. She is.
Yeah.
She reached out to me. She was like, "I'm doing all this stuff." She was like, "Let me know what you're doing." I mean,
okay.
She's been
See,
doing
all right.
Such a small world.
Small world. Small world.
I'm done with this, okay? But that's so beautiful. Yeah. So she's one of my students.
I have never
Is she
hugged a
getting an A?
professor of mine before.
You know what? I think she did. I think she did. I can't remember.
I think she got an A.
I'm pretty sure that
Right.
she did.
Okay.
I mean, like, my students, like.
She comes from
nice
good stock.
thing
I got to
about-
tell you that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my
Her
students
dad's
are
boss
so
is a jerk,
impressed.
though.
That's her daddy.
Her
honey. That's
dad's
daddy.
boss is an absolute jerk.
Oh,
Yes.
I love it. My dad is so like that. My dad's always like, my daughter's doing this. It's so important for dads to do that.
Yeah.
But no, she did a great job. My students have been, it's been so amazing to, like, see them walk through, like, January 6th and George Floyd.
Yeah.
Because I'm a political science professor, right?
Yep.
So I mean, like, so we talk about these things in a really deep way. And I'm trying to help them see kind of like the structure of the system, and that's another reason why the Black Farmer Land Fund was born, because it's like the systems that have been created
segue to get
for
back into
us,
the Detroit Farmer.
right, are not going. They're like, again, like, we can ask for reparations all day, but it's like that's not what's going to get us there.
Right.
Like, we have to be doing our own work to create the systems that we want to see,
and that's why she went to
hard
Howard.
Work. It's hard, and
It is hard work.
She went to Howard because she wants to write.
Can't reach
She
it.
wants to write policy, and she wanted to be in D.C.
Yes.
You know, and so COVID is taking a real toll on her because she's had to come back home, but she stayed active.
Yep.
You know, and so with this Juneteenth event that she's putting on tomorrow, we want to just publicize that as well. Let's get back to the event that and what you guys are doing, and we've got one of the farmers down here tomorrow.
Yes, I'm so glad.
So let's introduce him and let's see what's going on.
Yeah, I was saying to him when he sat down, I said, when you walked past the first time, I knew you were a farmer.
Right.
Like, if there's a picture of a farmer in a book, this brother is it.
Yep. So this is Willie Patman. So, like, Willie Patman is our elder farmer, right?
Okay.
Like, so he's been doing this for the longest. and he's so committed to the work that he is doing, and it's just, and he whenever we all get together, which isn't super often because of COVID, but when all the farmers get together, he always is like sharing his wisdom and knowledge, and it's just, it speaks so much to the intergenerational like piece of our work. Because this work is not just
two
about
things that I want to know.
Right? Like,
I got two questions for Mr. Willie Patton, and I want to know, first of all, where is Mr. Patton growing that, and what are you growing? And I'm sorry, I got a third question. When can I come get some?
I'm gonna tell you, he said he's been farming since he was 6, so he know what he's doing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I tell you, it's been going to waste every year.
Okay.
You know, I mean,
Mr. Patton, can I get you to do me one favor? I need you to speak into the mic for the podcast, please, sir.
I'm at 4827 Parker.
Okay.
Right between Warren and Forest is where Parker is. As a matter of fact, it butts up against Willard right there next to the church, and I'm right in back of the church. So I grow some of everything, and once everybody gets full, it just goes to waste. Last year I had a terrible time trying to get it to soup kitchens and places like that.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm by myself, so I don't have a lot of help. And people said, well, bring it to me. Well, I work every day, and I couldn't get it to them, and I couldn't get nobody to get it to them.
Yeah.
So I had all kinds of food just go to waste last year.
Okay, well,
and I was growing it for the community.
Well, let's definitely hook Mr. Patton up with the Movement Street.
Yes.
As they're trying to move out. I mean, you know, that's what it's about. Hooking people up with the young ladies that, you know, so that we can make some community connections and bridge the gap where you get a little assistance to help move some of that, your product out to help some others.
Yeah, you name it. I had peas go to waste. I had English peas, what we call y'all call them up here. I don't know what y'all call them up here, but we call them English peas at home. The little green peas.
Green peas.
And, you know, the foreign people eat the whole pea type thing. I found that out when I went overseas.
Okay.
But squash went to waste. Corn went to waste. Beets went to waste. I had beets coming out of my ears. I gave you ears.
I've been juicing with beets too.
That's what everybody said.
See? There you go. There you go.
Makes you think of drinking the blood of your enemy.
See what right, now pour it in a skull and
From this size to this size.
Oh, wow.
And I plowed them under.
We got the plug now.
Wow.
So many you compost though. Do you compost? No.
Well, I use compost, but I do all. You know, I'm an organic farmer because when I came along, we didn't have fertilizers.
I mean,
we had to use everything was organic.
Ring the bell for that.
Yeah.
I mean, because organically, before there was all that fertilizer stuff,
we didn't have fertilizer.
You know, we didn't need that stuff.
We had no sprays for bugs.
We didn't know what that stuff was for.
There was no fertilizers. We used the manure from the barn, and then we
grew it bigger than what they're growing now.
Right. We did use a system of plowing and rotating the crops. And you put a certain type of crop here, then you plow it under, and you plant certain things, and then you move it over here, and you plow it under, and you plant certain things. We didn't have any of that stuff.
And they didn't want to take that history.
Yeah,
they didn't want to take the history on how to grow it organically, the
right
way.
You know,
let's speed up the process so we can,
because it ain't make the money.
Yeah,
you know
what I'm saying?
Follow the money.
It was the chemical companies. The chemical companies like Eli Lilly and so forth.
Right.
They're the one who convinced us that we have to have
follow the dollar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow the dollar.
Right. When I was a kid, we never heard. You know what used to happen? If the bugs
that ain't gonna be in no history books.
And let's say you had wheat, beans, or peas, or whatever it is, you had 30, 40 acres on this side of the road.
Right.
Well, the bugs would eat it all up, and the road would turn black with worms crawling to the other side of the road to eat up that crop. So you know what you did? You plowed it under and planted another one.
So did you get to a point where you plant like certain crops that you know will attract the bugs to keep them away from your other crops?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. We didn't know that
at
the time.
Gotcha.
We didn't know that. We just knew that we knew how long we had to get a crop to come in.
Okay.
How much time you had to put it in the ground and get it to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you just went wide open and plowed it under and started all over again.
Do the math.
That's right.
Yeah.
Started all over again.
Yeah.
But my point was there was no chemicals to kill the bugs.
Yeah.
And next year, you may not see a single bug.
Right.
And 2 years again, maybe the bugs will be at maximum again.
Yeah.
That's just the way it runs.
So you just work it out.
Yes, right. You worked it out.
Yeah.
And everybody survived.
Yeah.
Nobody starved.
And that's beautiful.
Mr. Patton, has anybody ever asked you to write that down in a book?
Not really.
Yeah. Because I read that book all day.
I was telling you about the book, and I was telling them about Leah Penniman's book. It's called Farming While Black, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But I was like, I feel weird telling you about this. I'm like, you are farming.
You
while
are
black.
farming while black, right?
Like,
You don't need a book, right?
Let me tell you one other thing.
Okay, please.
Before I don't want to forget it. You know, the Juneteenth thing. And, you know, in my little hometown of 3,000 people, we have one of the biggest 4th of July celebrations in the whole county. And really part of the state, because the governor used to come out to it. But the sad part about it, the black people had to do that Juneteenth thing out in the woods. It wasn't done in town. You know, we went out in the woods and did our Juneteenth thing. The 4th of July was the thing.
Wow.
The Juneteenth thing was the thing that you didn't talk about. But we went out and we did our barbecue and did our celebration way, way, way out. Because we live 15 miles from town.
I hope y'all paying attention to this, y'all.
Yeah, this is history for real.
Right here for real.
Yeah.
And now it is so great that this thing has come to the surface.
Right.
Because we couldn't even talk about it.
Wow.
In school, we couldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Talk about it out there under the tree when the ladies was doing the barbecuing and making lemonade out of cold well water, no ice.
Right. No ice.
No ice. Cold well water.
Cold
Yeah,
well
that's
water, man.
no ice.
The Iceman didn't get that far out.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Patton, what I would like to do is if we can get your information, and here I'm gonna take a little liberties right here.
Yeah, please do.
If it's up to me, and I would like for us to get another podcast scheduled, and we can just get another interview with Mr. Patton. We can just have a conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And just go a whole podcast
With him.
and just have a talk and just kick it with Mr. Patton and just have a conversation. If that's all right with you, sir.
No, that's fine.
If we can just bring you
Let me
on.
say one other thing.
Yes, sir.
And I was telling Aaron, my friend here, and I don't know, I have no idea, but I keep looking at you because you look just like my great uncle.
Uh-oh.
Well, he's only 39,
He's
so
older enough.
yeah, he's only 39, so
Your structure, your color, your eyes, the big upper body looks just like my great Uncle Sylvester.
I knew he wasn't 37.
Hey, we all
really
related.
wasn't no 39.
We all
kinfolk.
And my Uncle Sylvester was a great man. You know what he was? He was the first black county commissioner probably in the country.
Really?
Wore 245s every day.
Okay. Wow.
Road has
well, you look back far enough. All of us are connected one way or another.
Yeah,
so
we all connected.
Yeah,
we all
so much.
And
like
you know what? I take that, sir. If I look like your great uncle who was a great man in the first county commissioner, I'll accept that all day long. And you know what, Mr. Patton, through Aaron, we're gonna get your information.
Oh yeah.
And we do a 2-hour podcast that we break down in a 2:45-minute spots. We have a little beer along the way,
right.
and we'll do another spot down the Eastern Market. I'm sure we can get Jasmine to host us, and we'd like to just do a podcast dedicated just to doing nothing but talking with you, sir, because we got too much history.
Wait, yeah,
Look,
yeah.
I want to put these other guys on.
Right.
I don't even want to talk to Jasmine now. We're kicking it so much.
Hey, Jasmine ain't gonna fight you about it. She don't want to talk no way.
But we got to keep our agenda. But what I do want to do is we gonna schedule some time real soon where we gonna do nothing but just talk to you, if that's all right.
And
you know what? We gonna do that within the next
ASAP.
60 days.
Yeah, ASAP.
to make that happen soon.
Yeah.
The stories need to be told. I mean, like,
we got
history is like going out, and we have to make sure that we're listening
and
to
look,
our elders.
I'm gonna get some of those beets because I'm gonna be juicing, making me some beet juice, and out with some spinach and some carrots. And y'all laughing, but I'm serious.
If we don't preserve our stories, they're not gonna be preserved. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My grandma always said, "Boy, if you don't blow your own horn,
see,
who do you think's gonna blow it?
Who do you think's gonna blow it?" Yes, sir.
Hey, it's a sad dog that won't wag his own tail.
Yeah.
Mr. Patton, thanks for joining us.
Thank
today,
you for your
sir.
time.
Before we let Mr. Patton go, he touched on something where he said they had a bunch of food and they weren't able to deliver it to the people that need it. Well, we got a president of Let's Go Detroit here who's a nonprofit within the city.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We got a connection. We got right here between Movement Detroit and Let's Go. Come on. We got another. Yeah, we gonna get your food.
Here's your vehicle right here.
Here's your. Going to make sure
no food waste this year. Mr. Patton is growing food that they had to waste because they couldn't get it out to the people. Can we guarantee no food waste this year with Let's Go Detroit and Movement Street?
Yeah, let's talk.
Yes.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, we're
Absolutely. Yeah.
We gonna make
so, Mr. Patton, we gonna make sure that food gets out.
Yes, sir.
I get the beats though.
Unless we have a terrible year, you don't have to worry about it. There'll be plenty of beats.
All right.
As soon as you're off this, we'll connect. Let's talk.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So again, Mr. Patton, thank you for your time. And again, we definitely need to have a episode dedicated to talking about you and your story. And I do want to say this one last thing. I asked you what brought you to Detroit. Can you share your answer with the people?
As I said before, the military and the Michigan girl from Tennessee.
Yeah. I said, what brought you to Detroit? His first answer was a girl. I said, the story of my life, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And we'll catch up before we all leave and talk a little bit more. We appreciate your time and everything you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to get artists on.
So they're going to get some other folks on. So we're going to
okay.
Yeah, don't take the mic with you. We need that.
No, but no, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for collaborating.
No, thank you.
Like the drink, like it was just like, it was so amazing. And again, I just want to say this one last time. So black farmers and black breweries are both 1% on a national level, right?
Yep.
And so like
yep.
we are connected.
We kinfolk.
Yes. And so like we have to make sure that we are getting together and that we are collecting the stories and the wisdom and the knowledge that can help our industries.
We got to make sure we get you in the Brewz Brothaz group.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The farm was a huge bridge between the Civil War and our future.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, it was the main thing that we knew how to do to sustain ourselves. So we have to always come back to that. And like that's exactly what we're trying to do with the Black Farmer Land Fund. That's how I met Mr. Patman. I'm just so excited. Thank y'all for welcoming us and for having us.
Thank you for coming.
And I love y'all. So cheers.
Cheers. Salute.
Hey. We have to talk. We have to talk about growing things.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we do. I'll find you. We do.
Just don't get Sasha talking about birds.
And birds.
Drones.
And
drones.
Every morning.
And a little bit of
what are we growing?
Farming.
Is it just
gardening? Not farming, gardening.
No, gardening.
I don't farm, I garden.
Last call for barbecue. So if you're still hungry, you might want to get to it.
This in my face real quick.
All right. So who's up next?
Who have we got?
You okay?
All right. So, okay. Well, you know what? Oh, here's Will right now, right on time.
Here's Will. Okay.
Johnny on the spot. So
Johnny on the spot. Next up, we coming to the mic Y'all know him as our producer.
Yeah.
Y'all know him as he does the music.
Yeah.
The intro.
Yeah.
Y'all might know him from down on. He rings Sasha dusty ass bell. Y'all might know him. He brought your dusty ass bell to the event.
And he recently had a birthday.
You might know him from being a beer tender from Eastern Market from down in the past.
You might know him at 8 Degrees
You
Play-Doh.
might know him at 8 Degrees Play-Doh. You might know him from Project. But you might know him from his artwork that was down here on display last year, where he had 2 or 3.
One of which I have hanging in my house.
You know.
Yeah.
So he's got 10.
Yeah.
10 of his projects.
Man.
On display today.
Man.
Which is the most he's ever displayed ever. And I'm going to step back because I'm so overwhelmed that, you know, the collection that he's put together. And here, I'll let you take control. Did you see all? Did you go see all?
Man, I did. I did, and I am, as always. Will, you know I'm a fan. I tell Will all the time, if you don't ever have more than one customer, you got one. I've bought pieces. There are only a couple of artists that are hanging. Literally, a couple of artists that are hanging in my house, and you, sir, are one of them.
You're a fan. I'm a fan of you too, Harry.
My brother. It's mutual. I appreciate it. So let's introduce yourself, man. Talk a little bit about your art, your process, all of that.
Okay. Producer of Brewz Brothaz, Trey. And I have a collection for Juneteenth inspired by like albums or events in the history of black people in America. Mm-hmm. And the hope is that you know, they'll see the images and the titles of the works and the description, and that maybe they'll do some more research to you know, become more informed. And as long as you got information, then you have understanding, and maybe understanding can bridge a lot of, you know, stuff that's going on.
Man, talk a little bit about the layers to your work, man, because when you look at it visually, you know, obviously you get that first impression, but even the pieces that are hanging in my house, like sometimes I look at them and I see something I didn't see the last time. So how do you go about like layering all of the things that you want to represent in a particular piece?
So,
like that Jim Crow piece, man. There's so many layers to that, and I love that piece.
I wish it was a particular routine, but there's no routine, and I'm proud of the progress that I was able to build with the collection. And you know, one of the things that kind of helps me produce more is music.
Yeah. Because you do a little bit of that too.
Yeah, some of them. So it's a few I have that's like inspired by like Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
And Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
To even Miles Davis.
Yeah. So I want to, is it Kaya? Yeah. I want to talk to Kaya for a minute. We'll bounce back to you, Will. Kaya, talk to us a little bit about who you are and your artwork, and because you do some absolutely amazing work. I'm an admirer. I'm a fan. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what inspires you and all of that sort of thing.
So I'm originally from Pennsylvania.
I'm sorry. Okay. Kaya, come to the mic a little
closer.
bit.
Sorry, this is my first podcast.
That's all right.
You're good.
But originally from Pennsylvania, went to Howard, ended up in DC for 4 or 5 years, and made the move recently to Detroit. And my art really stems from this idea of me just seeing a lot of stuff and wanting to recreate.
Okay.
And the idea of seeing all this stuff and thinking to myself, like, why not me? Why couldn't I do this, or why couldn't I do that? So that's kind of like the base of my art and like where it stems from. Growing up, I watched a lot of anime. I was super nerdy, like super weird. Literally. But a lot of that actually comes from my dad, because my dad was the one sitting down with me watching the anime, like talking to me about the artwork, talking to me about all this other stuff. So eventually, like, that morphed into itself and into like kind of like the style I do now, which is kind of like its own anime, super bright, super colorful. And I also like playing into like the ideas of like negative connotations, and taking things or like imagery that's like primarily negative and like using an abundant amount of color to like kind of justify that.
Now where did abolitionists come from? I mean, that's just a fantastic piece.
That's such a dope piece.
Thank you. I wanted something that really spoke of like time and like, you know, black farmers throughout time and where it came from. So I did a lot of like personal research into like looking like what people looked like. What did black people look like across the board during slavery in Africa, like current moment, like. So I started finding all of like these cool pictures, these cool clothes, and the one thing that I really wanted to do was kind of like keep that energy and just take the pieces I saw and like the energy I saw and kind of just like move it into this space. So I literally just cut pieces of clothing and kind of made a design on like the shape of a man, and then kind of used my own style and my own color to fill in any gaps.
This stuff blows my mind because I don't have it. I don't have that.
I mean,
if I see something, like I could draw this wall in front of me. If I see something, I can draw it. But in terms of like just coming up with this stuff conceptually, I don't have that.
I know, but that took a long time for me because I was the same way. Like that's how I learned. I literally used to just copy everything I saw and just like mimic and mimic and mimic. And then someone was like, "Why don't you do more?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like I don't know how to do more." What do you mean more?
I'm drawing what I see.
Literally, I have to think now. Like it's too much. But eventually, like I guess I broke that space, and it comes with like trusting yourself and understanding that you have something like valuable to like bring to the table and to like produce. And once
ring your bell.
Right, ring your bell. There you go. And look, and I just have to say this because, you know, we've all got our own special gift. We've all got our own special outlook, and I've seen, looking at this artist's work, when I didn't see the title, I didn't really get it, for example. And I'll use a couple of pieces he has inside. And when I saw, for example, and I told them this the other day, we had the photo shoot. When I saw Tuskegee, before it was titled, I was like, I didn't get it. But when he titled it, I almost teared up. Like, it was so powerful. You know, when I saw Tuskegee on it, I was like, damn.
And I've only seen Wayne tear up when he spills beer.
You know, so
that's a serious thing.
And when I spill beer, I'm like, oh, that hurts. That's powerful. You know, so
I've never seen him spill.
It was like, you know, that's, you know, but it was so thoughtful. I was like, you know, it was provocative. Like, wow, that's actually powerful. And then I saw, and then with Tulsa, you know, with everything going on, with, you know, we've all seen Black Wall Street and all that, but you know, with everything, and like Harry mentioned, the layers. You know, it's like just how is the, you know, to have the vision and to conceptualize. I mean, just the artistic. I mean, just it's so powerful and just, man, so creative. Like, to come up with something that just is beyond, I mean, like, wow, you know, just,
no,
you know, it's mind blowing.
I can't even take the credit for those pieces you're talking about specifically.
I mean,
I know. I'm like, because I was even blown away today. I came in to set up earlier, and I knew there was going to be more pieces. I knew there was going to be another artist. So I'm like, okay. Like, I wanted to make sure. I'm like, is there space? They're like, yeah, come see his work. I literally was blown away. I'm like, and I was saying earlier, like, I play on like negative things. Like, that's my whole like gimmick as an artist. So seeing like someone who takes those colors and like just that tone, that kind of feeling, and I saw his work and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm fitting in, like, you know, like I was like, yeah, because I was a little afraid. I'm like, is my stuff a little too weird? Like, you know, sometimes like you just get in your head.
We just want the real. That's it.
I have a quick question. I have a quick question. So I know most artists feel like every piece they paint is priceless. Like, how do you guys come up with your price points? Like, how do you value? Like, oh, I'm going to charge this for this. Like, how does that process work?
I'm really bad at this. Like, even today, someone came up to me and I'm like, you name the price. Like,
tell me what it's worth to you.
Yeah. I'm like, so I can figure it out myself.
Yeah.
But, like, I also think I'm an artist that doesn't do it for the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that I've ever been interested in getting, like, fame or, like, some type of, like, monetary I guess reimbursement
you
from
do
me
it for
doing
the culture.
this. Yeah. And I was saying this to Jazz, like when I even picked up like the project, I was saying like I am in a space now of just like using my gifts and like using them regardless. Like even if there's no money that comes out of it, like I don't want to, you know, I'm young as
you better get paid for them gifts.
But I know, but
yeah, I mean,
like,
but the thing is,
need to create.
I don't want to die and then like I have so much stuff in my head. I have so
like
many
a bank
thoughts.
teller, but you know what I mean. But you never did your
and I
your
never
thing.
did anything. That's why like, and I do so much outside of like art. Like, and I feel like money is such a you know, a thing.
Yeah, money is a means to an end.
Necessity.
Yeah,
money is a means to an end, but money is also about survival.
I know.
And with that,
I know that I'm struggling.
So I know it's hard to kind of, you know, what's the going rate? How do you figure out, you know, put this price tag on it? But, you know, and we've had this conversation. You've got to kind of figure out what that market is.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody else undervalue your stuff, because they'll get you to do something for a couple dollars.
Oh yeah.
When you know you look online, or you know, like for example, I saw a piece that my wife liked, and you know, just a nice little regular piece of, you know, some daughters and, you know, mother-daughter type thing, and you know, and I looked on it, and it was a piece on canvas. And I went to look at it on Etsy or something like that, and it ended up being a $3,500 piece, and that's what I did. You know, because, you know, I was thinking, you know, the poster that they showed might have been a couple $100,
the print,
you know, but when I went to the canvas piece that she would have wanted, it went to $3,500. I was like, whoa, it's a big jump from what they lured me in at to the canvas piece.
Cheers to making a big jump, right?
To the what?
To making a big jump.
To making a big jump. And so, you know, I get it, you know, but I say that to say, you know, just be mindful of pricing your work. And, you know, same thing, you know, he and I've had the conversation on, you know, and to Christian's question,
cut the check.
You also want to be in a position to where you're not pricing yourself out of the game, but you're also able to eat.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't price yourself out, but maintain that you're not just going to McDonald's because you gave your stuff away. You know, so you know, I don't know if that said anything. But,
no, it does. It does. And I do agree. I do think there's a fine line. But I feel like I also am really good judgment of character. So, like, I feel like I've never had someone that hasn't tried to pay me more.
Somebody that's going to play you on your art. Yeah.
Or, like, you know, have done more than enough to make me feel comfortable, even if it's, like, not a monetary thing. Like, they've taken care of me. They've given me so much. So it's like, I don't think, thank the Lord, but I don't think I've had like that bad experience that makes me feel like I have to price my stuff at a certain price right now. So like, I'm super thankful. Like I said, God, please. But yeah, no, I totally agree though. I think maybe in another 6 months you might be seeing it at $3,500. But
hey, what they going for today? Let me go buy one now. Let me buy on the dip. Let me buy on the dip.
That's dope though, because I mean, doing it for the culture is it makes the art pure, and that's with anything you do, whatever your art form might be, whether it be visual, whether it be, whatever it is that you do that you consider art, and when it remains pure, and you're not doing it with money in mind, but that also don't mean you can't make no money from it, So
yeah.
So, like real quick, so I do taxes, and when I first started doing taxes, I was charging people $50 to do their taxes. I'm like, I'm not going to charge too much. And I found out these companies was charging $400, $500, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But
clearly
I'm undercutting myself now, so I have to know my worth. Like, even though I'm doing the exact same thing they're doing, and even though my customers would do the same thing your customers would do, they would tip me and all that stuff. But I'm like, $50. I went to college and did all this. Like, you have to. In order for me to keep doing this and feed my family, like, I have to know my worth and set a reasonable rate. Like, I'm not saying come out the gate and charge $500-$600, but clearly $50 did make sense because time is money. Right?
I talked to somebody the other day, and it was like, "Hey man, what type of bourbon you like? Let me buy you a bottle of bourbon." I was like, "Bro, I can buy my own bourbon."
All day.
I can buy my own, but so again. Like Christian said, you don't necessarily have to charge the higher rate, what everybody else is, but don't charge that lower rate as well. So just get something there that allows you to eat. But same thing I told.
I say that to say you hella talented. I'm a fan.
I mean, both you guys are very talented, and I don't know what's next on the agenda for either of you. I know the stuff that both you put out is phenomenal. The show that Eastern Market has today, the art world is missing out. This is a DIA show that was down here today.
Straight up.
This show should be down at the Charles Wright Museum.
Yeah.
This show should be down somewhere, wherever it is. This show is hell of a.
Yeah.
And the artwork that the two of you are both doing is phenomenal. You both will be hearing a lot about, I'm sure, coming up. Lots of great work. I'm glad to have a couple of pieces already from Mr. William Phillips. I look to get a couple of pieces from you as well. I look to get a couple more pieces from you. Hopefully my pieces won't get sold. That I get from
you better get to them
before
I do.
I know. You
better get to them before I do, brother. You already know.
I already know because look. I got my eye. I won't tell you which ones I'm looking at because you might be having backdoor conversations.
I think we already know. You already. Never mind. Go ahead.
What piece you looking at?
I'm not.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. All
There's
right.
a particular piece you've discussed several times already.
What piece is that?
I'm not going to tell you though.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's not how I meant to interject myself in this conversation. What I wanted to say was that I am glad to see that there is a generation of artists that are free to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I have the same opportunities at this age, and so I love to see people being able to do this and really love it and really be able to immerse yourself in it. It's wonderful.
I love to see you seeing me, Sasha.
Sasha.
Hey, thank y'all for your time.
Thanks for coming out. We appreciate
squeeze
y'all.
a couple more people on here.
We got to get Jasmine on to shut the show down. Jasmine, you are coming on, Jasmine. Jasmine.
Hey, we got to get this
chair, Jasmine.
Oh, right. Well, we drank half of it, but it's...
Who is we? I still haven't had any.
You haven't opened yours?
You've been playing around.
I thought we were supposed to be getting some ice.
You waited too
long.
You
waited too long.
She came with more.
Jasmine, pull up a chair.
Is it chilly? A little bit. It's got a little chill to it. It's all right. It's got
Come
a
on,
little
Jasmine. Pull up to the mic.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Hey.
I've been on the phone for an hour at the house looking for you guys.
Hey, yo, shout to Ryan Hooper once again.
All right.
Ryan called me a week ago like, yo, do you want to do an interview the morning of the Juneteenth piece, you know, the pub. And I was like, yeah, I can do it. I was like, I don't know how much.
Jasmine, quit playing.
How much it's going to do
to Jasmine.
Come on.
But there have been several people that have come over and said, yo, I heard it on WDT. So thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Hey,
I'm glad you made it out, brother.
Glad you found
Yes,
it.
sir.
Hey. That's old school right there. That's old school.
Yeah, that 8, 9 yes, sir. Yeah. We've probably been there together a few times, brother.
Hey, Jasmine, we have to say.
No, hold on.
Okay.
You got it. Jasmine has to be intro properly.
Okay, come on. Proper introduction. Ding.
Coming to the mic. We have.
Come on, step up to the mic, Jasmine. Step up to the mic.
The lovely,
pull up,
talented.
Pull up the lovely and talented
Jasmine Hairston
for the culture.
That's only for you. I literally want to call you when I'm feeling low. Just be like, could you just introduce me really quick? And I'm just gonna hang up.
So Jasmine has straight up been like the architect. Of all of this that we're doing today. It literally could not have
putting it all together. For those of you who do not know what architect means, she did it all.
Yeah.
She scripted it. She developed it. She put it all together.
Just connecting people.
Tell the people how I got on your nerves for the whole time. Tell them about that.
No, you didn't get on my nerves. You had real conversations. And no, that's what collaboration is. And like, that's why we do this. We want to have authentic conversations, authentic collaborations. I called Sasha yesterday and I was like, so I know y'all did that cocktail. How collaborative was that? Because I was like, what's going on there? Because I didn't know too much about it. I know I connected, but I was like, how collaborative was that? Because like, we're not.
I talked, but we didn't loop anybody else into the.
Which is fine.
So we talked over the week, and
I love that. Yes, but like I was calling to check on you when I texted you. I was like, okay, I know y'all was going to do a cocktail, but like, how involved were you?
If it ain't really collaborative, she'd had to call us in. Because we only deal in collaborative efforts.
That's it.
We're not just tossing our names on stuff. This is about something better.
We only deal in collaborative efforts.
You keep that in mind when you're tasting bourbon and creating beer.
No.
Hold on. Jasmine will. Jasmine will vouch for us
that ice from, brother?
That we only deal in collaborative efforts.
Where did you get the ice from, brother?
Down.
See?
Like you might need this.
See? Collaborative efforts. Collaborative efforts. You know,
I brought y'all ice. You just didn't drink.
That's what we were saying. You didn't bring us ice.
I'm sorry. I was busy.
Yes, I did.
I was busy talking on the podcast. I apologize.
So, as I was saying, you know, in our collaborative efforts, you know, like with Black Excellence, for example, we said, hey, what should we put in that beer?
We did.
Yep.
And we said, hey, I like Madagascar vanilla.
Can't go wrong with that.
Does that come from Africa?
Yeah.
So is that like part of a Black Excellence?
Black Excellence.
Yeah.
And then they came and said, well, how about some Ethiopian coffee beans?
Imagine that.
Hey, collaborative efforts. You know, so everything was collaborative. When we put that together. Everything was very collaborative.
And it came out super dope.
When we put that together. So we do things in a very collaborative.
Okay.
Since we're not talking about you.
You're giving me a hard time about this cocktail.
So you know what? So I wanna get with Jasmine while she's here, because she's been doing what people in her position do. She's been running around all day. I'm glad we were able to nail her down for a second.
Yes.
So Jasmine, just give us a little bit of insight as to what it takes to pull something like this off, because this really is a lot of moving parts with what we did today. Truly.
I mean, you don't think about all the moving parts until you start doing it. But what drives you to do it is that collaboration, especially when we're doing something like this that is for the culture.
For the culture.
So it's like, how many people can we get involved? Like, we got Sasha and DCD involved here. It's like, we didn't do that last year. Let's do it this year. You know? So it's like, how many folks can we get involved? How many people can we reach? So, like, it's all about reaching out to more and more people, especially when it's for the culture.
Absolutely. And I mean, whatever you did, it worked. I mean, it's thinning out a little bit now, but just looking at the diversity amongst the crowd, like the tapestry looking out here, and I stated it earlier. I don't know if I said it on the mic or when I was talking earlier up front, but this is not what a typical night at a craft beer spot looks like.
One day.
It's usually so monotone.
One day.
Yeah, but tonight is just it's a whole different vibe. It's a whole, different thing, and this is what Brewz Brothaz would love for this community to look like all the time.
And we're in Detroit.
Yeah.
This is the place to do it. Like, if there's any other place to do it, it's here.
The blackest city in America. Yeah.
Some breweries didn't get that memo. But
they didn't. But it's coming, though, I guess.
And I'm saying, like, we've had plenty of conversations in our own brewery where we're like, in what way are we reflecting the community that we're in?
Yep.
And in plenty instances, we're not.
Yeah.
Like, we know that. Like, and that hasn't been true for the past 4 years.
And you've got the courage to confront that instead of saying, well, fuck it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And so we need to talk about it.
That are doing that.
Now,
Jasmine, a lot of places are fine with the status quo.
Tell us a little bit about your role currently as tell us about your new role. As a D&I director.
Yeah. Well, I'm a people director, so I do all things people.
Okay.
And before that, I was pouring beer. I've been a teacher for 5 years in Detroit, worked for Eastern Michigan, did college access work. And I never thought I would work at a brewery. My parents still think that I brew beer, and I'm like, so there's other jobs. I don't brew beer. I don't know anything about brewing beer. I mean, I can tell you the process, but no, I am not involved.
You do drink beer, yeah?
Yes. And they're like, do you pour beer? I was like, no, I'm not pouring beer anymore. I was like, there's other things that go into a brewery.
Because it's a business. And
it is.
Parts just like any other business.
Yes. And thank goodness that a part of our values is community.
Yeah.
And so, like, last summer, I started doing more community outreach. Because I was pouring beer, working a full-time job, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's do some more community outreach. Y'all gonna pay me for that? I'll do it.
You got the money out the time.
Yeah. And then they were like, hey, you want to come full-time? And you want to, like, do some people stuff and community outreach? And I was like, yes, please.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Because, like, we started having honest conversations. Because, like, I hadn't had any honest conversations because I was like, this is a brewery like any other brewery, Like, I'm not going to go there if this is what it is, this is what it is. But we're in a very black city, and I'm from the DMV. I'm from outside of D.C., Maryland.
Black city.
Yes, Chocolate City, okay.
So,
I was like, I mean, we're in Detroit, and I work in the school system, and I don't see myself represented in the brewery, and I'm shocked.
Yeah.
And I talk to my friends and my family, and I'm just like, you go downtown Detroit, even though we're in a black city, I don't see people that look like me, and this is really strange.
Yeah.
And so I had an opportunity to, like, have those conversations and talk about our hiring practice and talk about how we can foster more community.
Definitely.
And we were already doing things, but doing it more intentionally and having better conversations and really building those relationships. And that's why events like this, being truly collaborative and not one time, one thing, one event. Like, that's
it's become part of the culture.
Yeah.
So, and I, for people that are listening that are not familiar with Eastern Market Brewing Company and the way you guys have blown up in the last few years, and I mean even during
blown
COVID,
all the way up.
We've gone from just EMBC to Ferndale Project and now the Royal Oak piece. But even outside of that, I was amazed at how quickly you all were able to pivot during COVID. It was like, okay, you know what? We can't have bodies in the joint. You're looking like this stressed you out a little bit, but it looked effortless from the outside really looking in. It was like, okay, one day it was shut down, and then a week later it was like, all right, this is what we're doing. We're delivering beer. We got cold brew coffee. We got pizza. We got all of these things, and we're pivoting in this way where we are still serving the community, and even to the point where at Ferndale Project, right, there was a produce market, right? So people who couldn't find groceries at these big box grocery stores, it was, well, come down to Eastern Market on this day. We got produce and so on and so forth. So again, the look on your face said it all. But tell us a little bit about what that time was like.
It's been a hell of a year, friend. It's been a hell of a year. First thing first, I just want to shout out our front of house staff. We have first line workers, and thankfully, I get to be on a computer a lot of the times.
Right.
But we have front of house staff, which is the majority of our company, the seeing customers and serving customers and being educators as well. Like, they didn't sign up for that.
Right.
Right. And so, like, that has been, whoo, my heart is just like, they're talking to customers, like, your mask and this, and let me tell you about this is what we're doing, and we're doing this. We wouldn't be able to do that with our staff.
Like I said, you guys, from the outside looking in, y'all made it look effortless. Like, it was truly seamless.
Here, you know what I saw?
What did you see?
I saw, before COVID hit, and I'll take it back to the whole Founders fiasco.
Persona non grata.
Almost made it.
We almost, but fuck Founders though.
But this is the reason I take it back there.
Yeah.
The reason I take it back there is because when that whole issue hit, and when Dane pulled out of the festival, and the conversation that night that Dane had with the staff, and we had the podcast down at 8 Degrees Plato. That night when Dane pulled out.
Dane said, yo,
and Dane
I want
said,
y'all to be a part of that conversation.
He said, if y'all want to, I would like for y'all to come down and be a part of it, you know, with my staff, you know, because, you know, y'all are family too. So although we were not employees, he invited us down to participate in the conversation. And so we came down and had open conversation with everybody else to decide what were the next steps.
It was all family.
And it was all family. And from that conversation, it was not about who worked for who had what involvement. It was everybody had the same stakes, and everybody had the same involvement on what we were all going to do next to move this company forward, and what we were all going to do. And from that point, it was like, this is family. And so when COVID hit, it did not surprise me, because family came together to do what was needed to be done, you know, at that Founders bullshit. And when COVID came, family was still together. So that's why it did not surprise me the way EMBC and Ferndale Project came together, because we had already been proven to be family and able to come together.
I'm not going to get sensitive about the Founders thing, but I am going to go there. You talked about that meeting, and this was before I was full-time, and I was talking to one of my director, and I had talked to a lot of people that week, because I was like, I am walking into a conversation about black people and black bodies in a space with a lot of white people. And when I saw y'all, like, I'm not going to get sensitive. Like, every part of me wants to get sensitive right now. But I was like, oh, my God, thank goodness that you're here. Like, because, like, I'm not speaking before all black people. Like, I'm not about to do that. But, like, I was, like, ready. I had my notes. I was like, okay, this is what I got to say. Just step up, Jasmine. Just step up. And then I saw y'all, and I was like, oh, my goodness, thank you.
And that means the world, because that's what we're here for. You know, family is family. And
that's it.
To be included in that way was and to this day, I mean, Dane reached out to us. You reach out to us.
Event, just as special because we were included as family before this event even happened, and it goes on, and so I would think as long as EMBC is around, as long as we are around, EMBC and Brewz Brothaz will remain family
always,
and we'll continue the collaboration. And Jazz, we're so proud of you for what you've done to make this event so special today, and bring all the moving pieces together, from bringing Smokey Joe's together to bringing the artwork together.
We appreciate
everything. You know.
I apologize on wax for being on your nerves.
You know. Collaboration, my friend. Collaboration.
She's so gracious about it.
Thank you.
It's been great.
So we got one more thing to get to, because we didn't taste the drink on air.
I mean, some of us did.
Some of us did.
We didn't talk about it.
And you know what? But I'm so happy that Aaron provided us this drink. Because if we waited on Sasha to get the drink,
give me the rest of them back then.
Nah.
I know. Why give them back to you? You didn't give them to us.
Yes, I did. I brought 3 of them over.
Aaron gave them to us.
Right.
Hey, V, who gave you yours?
I went and bought it.
See?
Because it is a charity event. Thank you. It's a charity event.
Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure that's what you want to do?
Are you sure? Y'all take that shit elsewhere now.
I went into Detroit City Distillery, a liquor.
Are you sure you know what you're doing right now?
Sasha, this shit is good. I'm not even going to front.
All right.
It's good. So I'm not going to spend a bunch of time talking about how good it is because I want you to talk about it. I want you to talk about the process, how this whole thing jumped off.
So this came really quick. This came about because Jasmine called me and was like, "Hey, you should do this thing," and I was like, "Okay." And then I got all nervous about it, and then all my girls who were here tonight, who got to taste it first, were like, "Yeah, you should do this shit. This is what you do." So I talked to Ian at Detroit City Distilling. I will get it right. And we talked about things that I had made that people liked, and some of the popular drinks that I had and what I put in them. And so I liked the idea of doing a take on gin and juice because my first attempt at gin and juice was when...
Hey, Aaron. Thanks again for the drink. We appreciate it.
My first attempt at gin and juice was like many people with Snoop Dogg. And
y'all don't stop talking about my friend, though.
Thank you.
Okay, she made the drink. Maybe she didn't bring it to you.
You know,
I did. That's what we do for each other.
Just ignore him.
Thanks for the drinks, Aaron. We appreciate you.
Anyway. And follow Sasha on Insta and Facebook. She making drinks every day.
I got a boring Instagram.
What is your Instagram name? I don't know it.
It's S.A. Womble. That's my name. It's so lame.
So Womble.
But anyway, so I decided I wanted to do gin and juice, but I didn't want to do gin and juice.
Yeah.
And the first gin that I ever had was Seagram's, and it's terrible.
Ooh, bumpy face.
It's awful, right? And I didn't know that I thought I hated gin, and so it took me a long time before I had.
But you really just hate shit, gin.
I just hate Seagram's. And so then, as I got older and my palate developed, and I learned things that I liked, I found gin that I liked.
You have a palate?
I also realized I don't like orange juice in mixed drinks.
How'd you like it, Christian?
It's nasty. So I decided to go with grapefruit juice, and then to bring down the sort of juniper, piney taste that people don't like in gin. When people say they hate gin, they hate the pine taste. So,
I love the pine taste, but I
do too.
Yeah.
But, so I chose a gin of theirs that's more citrus forward.
Gotcha.
And then I paired it with the basil and mint simple syrup to kind of bring down that gin taste a bit.
Is that also what's rounding out the grapefruit? Because typically I hate grapefruit juice.
So it brings down the acidity.
I like
grapefruit.
squirt.
And then there's a little bit of lemon in there.
Okay.
I do like squirt.
Very good for a gin mixed drink.
And I think grapefruit squirt is the best squirt available.
Ruby Red is the best.
Ruby Red is the best
there
squirt.
There is a Ruby Red squirt.
Ruby Red squirt is the best
There's
squirt.
a variety of squirt.
If you're going to squirt, Ruby Red it.
Yeah.
So, Sasha, I don't like gin or grapefruit, but...
You like Ruby Red squirt?
I can drink this.
But do you like Ruby Red squirt?
This is good.
Can you disappear?
I don't know if I had Ruby.
Wow. That was to the point.
I love you.
Can tell we are getting to the end of the clock here.
Yeah.
You know,
It is.
Sasha just kicking motherfuckers out. You know, disappear.
How I do.
Well, Sasha, I know we've been kind of giving you shit all night about this, and not about the quality, just the fact that we didn't.
We had to go to other people to get it.
Yeah, you know, everybody else got some first. But
I brought y'all.
You didn't bring me nothing. Let's be clear.
It's like they can't see it.
Right.
It's like, oh, go look for it. And they're like, I can't find it.
Aaron, whose side are you on?
Right in front of you. I brought them down here for y'all.
I'm on the side of truth and justice.
Thank you. Okay, we got to wrap up.
So emotional labor is still labor.
That's true. Absolutely. It's work.
Like she came up with
Hey, Harry.
Harry. I don't even know how it happened.
I don't know. Look. Have grades already been passed out? She didn't find out she my daughter professor. I got to be careful now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
She might be grading my daughter now. You know what I'm saying? I got to watch what I say now. You know, but you know.
Very talented.
Okay, well look, I'll just say we're good.
All right, well,
you know,
well, Sasha, this is a well done cocktail. Thank you.
This is a well done cocktail.
For sharing this with us. I appreciate
but all that other
it.
stuff she's saying right now, Sasha, Aaron brought this shit. You did, and let's be clear.
I wanted to support the Detroit Black.
We did.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
I bought some. You all should buy some too.
We got
buy some abolitionists.
Yeah, I'm on. I got a bunch of abolitionists to buy. We got people that want it,
and buy some Black excellence
and some Black excellence.
Yeah,
from Eastern Market Brewing Company. So
that I help brew.
Yes, that you help brew.
Aaron, did you have a good time tonight?
I had a great time. This is
excellent.
Fantastic. this.
Excellent.
And Aaron,
can we put you on the permanent guest?
Aaron, you got to bring Mr.
Patman.
on.
Yes. No,
we got to get with you so that we can. We got to get him on.
And
we're gonna do a whole episode on him.
You're Brewz Brothaz fam now,
so thank you.
Yeah,
we still have to talk about growing things.
Yeah,
we haven't done that.
We haven't talked about that.
Aaron,
don't let Sasha bait you into talking about these
drones. Let me see how you hit that bell. Hit that bell. Oh, we.
I mean, like
hit it one more time. Yeah. Wait, one more time. One more time. Just one more time.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Sasha, your ass might be in jeopardy.
No. You know what?
Wow.
I had enough of you, Wayne.
Because I can't make drinks like this.
Look, right
so
she said I might disappear. Hey, Aaron, hit it one more time and Sasha might be out.
I can't make drinks.
And for that, Brewz Brothaz, it's time for us to get ready to go.
As we wrap up, hey, thanks to all of our guests today.
Yes.
Thanks to our regular Brewz Brothaz fam.
You down here just in time. We about to replace Sasha the Beer Girl with Aaron.
Hey,
you brought I would be a good choice.
Hey, thank y'all. I know a lot of them aren't here, but thanks to all the guests that came out.
Yes.
Thanks for coming out. We appreciate
providing the food.
We signing off.
Brewz.
Hey, we gonna do a show with Brandon Graham and called Rapping Brewz.
Hey man, that's
coming up.
We could do that.
Check it out.
Yeah, we can do that.
Rapping Brewz coming out.
Come out tomorrow. Come to Oakland Avenue Urban Farm for a Juneteenth celebration.
Oakland Ave and Movement Street. We checking out Movement Street tomorrow too.
Yeah.
Movement Street.
Yeah,
lots of activities.
Everybody enjoy your Juneteenth weekend. And Brewz Brothaz is always for the culture. We are signing off. We'll check y'all out next time. Peace.
You are the